Good morning, children. Today we will start with the next topic of fourth chapter of economics, that is food security in India. So the topic we are going to take today is who are food insecures. It means who are the people who actually faces food insecurity most of the time. As we saw in the last video that sometimes the people who are living above the poverty line also have to face food insecurity in the cases of natural disaster or calamities or the failure of food crops, but there are also some people who face food insecurity most of the time in their lives. So who are those people who come among this section of food insecures? So we know that there is a large number of people in India who are facing food and nutrition insecurity, but there is a particular section in the society who are the worst affected by this food insecurity. So among them are the landless people, the people who have very less land area to cultivate their crops or do not have any land for cultivation, as most of the Indians depend on agriculture for their earnings. So if they are not having their own land or they are having very less land area, then they will be not able to produce that amount of crops also that can satisfy their needs as well as their families' needs. So the landless people are the worst affected by the food insecurity. Then comes the traditional artisans or the providers of traditional services, the people who are doing traditional works, like some artists are there, some cobblers are there, or the people who plumbers are there, the people who are doing their hereditary work which their family is following from years ago, and that they are also continuing that work and providing that services to us. Then those people who are not self-employed, means facing unemployment, doing nothing, they are not having that much caliber to get self-employment, and small workers who work for very little wages, those people also face food insecurity. And the people who comes in the category of beggars, who do not have anything and they just beg for their earning. Now if we talk about the urban areas, then the food insecure families are those whose members work in ill-paid occupation. Ill-paid occupation means they work for very less payment. And the casual laborers means daily wages laborers who do not have a permanent job and they just work whenever they get some work, and the rest time of the year they are unemployed. So these are the people, and also the people who are engaged with seasonal activities, like small farmers. If they are having only 1 acre of land, so they all time they will not be having any work. For some time of the year, in the season of harvesting and cultivation they will work, and rest of the time they will be unemployed. So they will be paid very less, and if the workers who are working in some others farm, so all these people are the people who face food insecurity mostly in India. Now 2 stories are given here, so we will go through these 2 stories to understand that how the people face food insecurity, the people who are casual laborers or the landless laborers or work for very less time suffer with this thing. So one is the story of rural area and the other one is the story of urban area. First is the story of Ramu. So let us go through this stories to understand that who are the people who comes under this category of food insecures. So Ramu, he lives in Raipur village and he works as a laborer in agricultural field, and he has a number of children, 4 children he is having. His eldest son Somu, he is 10 years old and he also has to work. He works as a pali. Pali means someone who looks after the kettles. So he works as a pali at the place of Sarpanch of the village, Satpal Singh, and he looks after his kettles. Now Sarpanch has hired Somu for the whole year and he pays him rupees 1000 for this work. Now Ramu is having 3 more sons and 2 daughters. Okay, so in all he is having 6 children. So, but all these other children, they are too young to work. Only Somu, who is 10 years old, who is also very young to work, but he is working as his family is facing crisis or some economical problems. Now Ramu's wife Sunari, she is also working as house cleaner for the livestock, and she removes and manages the cow dung. Now what does she get in return? So she gets half liter of milk and some cooked food along with some vegetables for the work she does. Now along with this, she also works with her husband in the agricultural field sometimes when it is a busy season, and she supplements his earnings. Now as agriculture is a seasonal activity, okay, as I told you, it does agriculture or cultivation, harvesting and all these work, it does not takes place throughout the year. Okay, so agriculture is a seasonal activity, so Ramu gets work only at the time of sowing or transplanting or harvesting, and the rest of the time he is unemployed. He remains unemployed for about 4 months of a year. Now at that time he looks for some other work in some other area fields. So at the times when Ramu is unemployed, he gets as he looks and works in some other activities, he gets work. So he gets employment in bricklaying or in construction activities in the village. So by all the work Ramu and his family members are doing, he is able to earn either in cash or in some other kind, so that he can buy some essential or 2 meals in a day for his family. However, sometimes during that period of time when he does not get any work, he and his family has to face many difficulties, and sometimes such situation comes when even they have to sleep without food, and things like milk and vegetables are not a regular part of meal in their family. They just get whatever they eat. So Ramu faces food insecurity during those 4 months when he remains unemployed, because he works in a field which is seasonal, that is he works in agricultural field. So here we saw that how Ramu faces food insecurity at the times when he does not get work. So from this we could conclude that the casual laborers or the daily basis laborers who works in agricultural fields faces food insecurity. Now, the next is the story of Ahmed. Now, that the case of Ramu we saw is a rural case. Now, the story of Ahmed is an urban case. Now, Ahmed is a rickshaw puller and he lives in Bangalore. Now, he was earlier living in Jhumri, Talaya, but he has shifted now to Bangalore in order to get some employment. He lives along with his three brothers, two sisters, and old parents. Now, where does he live? So, he stays in a jhuggi or a slum kind of areas. Now, the whole family's survival depends on his daily earnings. Whatever Ahmed is earning, and he has to feed his whole family. Now, as rickshaw, he is a rickshaw puller, so he does not have a secured employment, and his earnings fluctuate every day. During some day, he gets enough earning so that he could save some amount after buying all his day to day necessities, and on some other days, he barely earns enough so that he could fulfill his daily necessities. Now, but fortunately, Ahmed is having a yellow card. Now, yellow card is a public distribution system card for the people or the families who are living below the poverty line. Now, what is poverty line? We studied this in the last chapter. So, the people who are living below that poverty line, who are unable to fulfill their basic necessities, are having the facility of a yellow PDS, public distribution system card, that is issued by the government. Now, what is the advantage of this card? So, with the help of this card, Ahmed gets sufficient quantity of basic things like wheat, rice, sugar, kerosene oil for his daily use. Now, he gets all these essential things at the half price of the market price. This is a good advantage. Now, he purchases his monthly stock during a particular day when that ration shop is opened for the below poverty line people. Now, in this way, Ahmed is somehow able to manage his survival with less sufficient earnings, and as we saw, he is having a big family and he is the only earning member. So, this yellow card or the PDS card helps him to earn his survival. So, in these two cases, we saw that how the people who are not having any permanent kind of employment faces food insecurity. Now, the who are the other people who are food insecure? So, the SCs, STs, and some section of OBCs, and the lower castes among them means these particular sections who are ignored and they are unable to get as much opportunities. So these are the sections who faces much of the food insecurity. Along with them, the poor land based people or the poor people who have less land area, or the landless laborers are the ones who are prone to food insecurity. Along with that, the people who are affected by natural disasters like flood, drought, earthquakes, tsunamis. So, in such conditions, the people faces food insecurity and they have to migrate to some other places in the search of work. So, these people are also among the food insecures, and this is also seen that high high incidences of malnutrition or food insecurity prevails among women. Now, this is a serious matter of concern also, because women are the backbone of the family and plays an important role in the society, and they are at the risk of malnutrition. So mostly the pregnant women and the nursing mothers and the children who are under the age of 5 years are the people who faces food insecurity. Now, here one fact is given that according to NHFS, that is National Health and Family Survey, that was organized in the year 1998-99, the number of food insecure women and children was approximately 11 crores. Now here we saw the sections of the society who are food insecure. Now we will see some particular regions of the country which are economically backward and faces the problem of food insecurity. So such places are the tribal and the remote areas, and the areas which are more prone to natural disasters. Here more chances of food insecurity prevails. Then in some states like UP, Bihar, Jharkhand, Orissa, West Bengal, Chhattisgarh, some parts of Madhya Pradesh and Maharashtra, they account for the largest number of food insecure people of the country. So this is the area wise description that in how some regions specifically have food insecure people. Now here we will talk about hunger. Hunger is one aspect that indicates food insecurity. If some family sleeps hungry without getting any food, then this indicates that that particular family is facing food insecurity. Now hunger is just not an expression of poverty. Obviously if someone sleeps hungry, he or she is poor or the family is poor, but it also brings the poverty and let them lead the same life. Now the attainment of food security, the objective of food security involves that we have to first eliminate this current situation of hunger and reduce the risk of future hunger. Hunger has both chronic and seasonal dimension. Now chronic hunger is what does chronic hunger mean? So there are two dimensions of hunger. One is chronic and the other one is seasonal. What does chronic hunger mean? So chronic hunger occurs when the diet of an individual is inadequate in terms of quantity or quality. Poor people mostly suffer from chronic hunger because they have very low income and they are not able to afford the food for their survival also. So this is chronic hunger, that due to the lack of accessibility or affordability, the people are unable to get the sufficient quantity of food or good quality of food. And now other one is seasonal hunger. Now seasonal hunger is related to cycle of agriculture, the cycle of growing and harvesting, and this is mostly prevalent in rural areas because in rural areas mostly agriculture is practiced. So because of the seasonal nature of agricultural activities, this seasonal hunger persists or prevails. And in urban areas, because of the casual laborers, because the casual laborers do not have any permanent employment, they are having less work and sometimes they are paid very less and they work on daily wages. So because of this, they are having seasonal hunger. Seasonal hunger exists when a person is unable to get work for the entire year. He or she works in some part of the year and the other part they are unemployed. So because of this, seasonal hunger exists. So I hope both the hungers, chronic hunger is due to the because of the lack of money, they are unable to buy sufficient quantity and good quality food. And in seasonal hunger, because of their seasonal nature of working activities, they are facing this problem of hunger. Now here one table is given, 4.2. Here percentage of households who are facing hunger in India is given. You can go through this table, rural and urban areas, and the years are given, and seasonal, chronic and total percentage of households who are facing the problem of hunger is described in this table. Now, the percentage of seasonal as well as chronic hunger is decline in India, as you can see in this table also, that in 1983, if you will see, the total hunger was 18.5%, and in 1999 2000 you will see it is 3.3%. Same in the urban areas, in 1983 it was 6.4%, and in the year 2000 it declined to 0.9%. So we can say that India is aiming to become self-sufficient and independent in the matter of food grains, and it is striving so that it could eradicate this problem of hunger from India. Now, after independence, many policies and measures have been taken to make India self-sufficient, especially in the field of food grains or agriculture. And India after independence only adopted a strategy of green revolution, especially in the production of wheat and rice. Indira Gandhi, who was the then Prime Minister of India, she officially recorded the great results and impressive results of green revolution in agriculture by releasing a special stamp entitled Wheat Revolution in the year 1968. Now, the success of wheat was later replicated in rice. So, this green revolution actually aimed at increasing the production of these crops like wheat and rice, so that the most of the population of the country could be self-sufficed and less imports needs to be done. So what were the results of this green revolution? So the highest growth was achieved in UP and Madhya Pradesh, and here data are given that how the increase or good results were seen. So you could go through this data that how green revolution helped in the increase in the production of food grains, and how after independence India has aimed towards eradication of poverty, eradication of this problem of hunger, and eradication of this problem of food insecurity, and it is striving towards a more food secured nation.